this got me thinking because like the whole like debate with JJK having no world building got me thinking that like a lot of you guys don't know what world building is. World building isn't at like a place in the map. Not always the case, honestly. My Hero Academia does have good world building. JJK have decent world building, but like you guys think like okay, cool, we add this, we go to different locations. It's world building because there's like two types of world building: vertical world building and horizontal world building. Horizontal is what you guys talk about, like add a new place to map. Because horizontal talk about like the region, different race slash species and stuff like that, and extra like culture, like talk about like the food and the music sometimes. But mostly talk about hey, we go to a different location. Because like you're outward of your universe, like the landscape. That's kind of like horizontal world building. But vertical world building is world building because the vertical world building talk about like the inside lore of the culture, talk about the physiology, talk about the psychology, talk about like the mythology as well. So like sometimes like vertical world building talk about your own universe, your onward, inward universe, the portrait of your own universe. And to me, vertical world building will always be better than horizontal world building. Can make your soul feel more realistic. Feel like you actually in this universe, you're immersed in the universe. Whereas like horizontal world building is like interconnection to different places. Like example, I live in the United States. That could be my vertical world building. We talk about the culture of like in the United States when it was built when it became a thing in 1776. We could talk about slavery. We could talk about Civil War. We could talk about World War One and Two a little bit in our own culture. You know, the funny about because social studies teach you guys this stuff about like the United States. Then next time they talk about outside of the United States. That's what they did for me from elementary school to middle school. Elementary school, we talk about American history. We talk about world history in middle school. And world history is like the horizontal world building. Because like I live in America. Horizontal world building for me is if I go to Japan or Taiwan or Europe or Africa. Like that would be considered as like horizontal world building. Can I talk about someone else's culture, someone else's place, someone else's region, talk about different races. That's different type of world building than my own. Okay? So that's like a good example of the difference between vertical and horizontal. And to me, every single good show has vertical world building. But you don't need horizontal world building. It doesn't matter that much. Like example, My Hero Academia has good vertical world building, talk about the quirks, talk about the hero society. So we don't need to go to like a different places and stuff like that. But we could. I'm nothing against it. I would love to go to different places in My Hero Academia. But I'm fine to focus on oneself. It's fine by me. So I'm just gonna let people know the main difference. So like that's because the show is not about like a fantasy setting like fairy tale or Black Clover. It can still have good world building.